Da, 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 da. Hello, welcome. Oops. Hello, welcome. So good, I've done it twice. Right, I have. You'll have to bear with me. I have an array of windows open while I'm trying to sort things out last minute. Not having much luck, but there we go. So welcome to the weekly live stream as such. And what have we got this week? Well, there's not a lot in the way of news, really, unless, of course, you're into architecture and that, and you're upset about the Notre Dame burning to the ground. That's real news. Nothing like in the modelling community that I'm aware of. Where do I begin? I've had quite a busy week. I've been doing lots of 3D printing, so I've started buying STL files. So these basically are files of different figures. Predator, Dobby, Game of Thrones. There's the wizard out of Harry Potter. There's a whole range of these figures that you 3D print. They're all quite big. They stand sort of like this, and they roughly print off in anything from 6 to 30 pieces, and then you put them together. So I'm slowly gathering a library of those. Now, my intention is to be able to make them available for people at a lower price than what they charge if you go to a big 3D printing company. The downside with this is I'm only one person, I have only one printer, and to get the quality that is, worth to be able to ask money for the quality that I'm generating, I have to do things very slowly. We'll touch on that again in a minute. So the main thing, so straight away, I'll tell you that I'm looking at pricing these at around £60 each. Now, I'll break that down for you in a minute because it sounds a lot, and, it is a lot. But let me bring Dobby in. So this is something I've been working on. This is Dobby. I need to get my screen up so I can see what you're seeing. Right, there we go. So this is Dobby. I've been working on him for a long time now. Well, since January, doing bits here and there. I'm really pleased with how he's come out. This was one of my first prints. He stands quite tall. I haven't done his legs yet. I haven't finished the base down here. And, I'm really, really pleased with how he's came out. Lots of there's ink, oils, and acrylics on here. He hasn't got his hands yet, but he will do over time. The skin's not done around there, and so basically above the neckline is about the only piece that's properly done. I've put a bit of a yellow hue on his eyes because obviously his eyes are not bright white. I've mottled the flesh because it is mottled when you see him in the film. So this is Dobby. Now, to print Dobby took me, in terms of if I was to start the printer and print Dobby off non-stop, so do each part and then put the next one up straight away, I would be looking at, so it was about 8 hours for the head. It was about 24 hours for the top part of the body. So we're looking at 8, 2, 8, and 4. And down here it was another day to do that. 2 days. So you're looking at 12, 24, 48, probably about, I'm going to go with 56 hours non-stop printing. Then when it comes off, you've got a good couple of hours, maybe more, taking the supports off and that. And in a minute, we're going to look at a piece that's come off and what's involved in doing that. Then the head, I'm new to the oils and the inks and that, so the head literally had about 34 hours of work has gone into that, into getting that head right. So, you know, there's a lot of work gone into this. So when you break that down at £60, so you've got the roll of plastic, you're looking at 15 quid for a decent roll. I can get it as cheap as 8, but it's not very nice to work with when it comes off the printer, and it doesn't print as well. So I get the proper, I don't think I've got the box anywhere. I get the proper Creality plastic, the PLA. So you're looking at 15 quid for that. Then there's, you know, the cost of the file. Yes, I've only got to buy it once, but, you know, it's still a cost. Then there's the cost of running the printer for 56 hours. And then there's the packaging. The packaging alone, bubble wrap cost me £5, and I'll probably get 3 kits wrapped out of that, plus all the other materials needed. I don't actually make a lot of money on this, is what I'm saying. I don't want people to think that I'm coining it in, because that's not the case. This is just to help a few people get some figures, and that's the plan. I probably can only make 1 or 2 of these a month if I'm realistic. So it's really just a small amount to help me to put into my modeling. This is the only reason I'm doing this, is to get a little bit of extra money coming into the house, because we're so short, and this would help immensely. So that's why I'm doing it. I've been honest and upfront, and that's why I'm doing it. So they're my reasons for doing it. Now then, so when the stuff comes off the printer, it looks pretty much, now this is Predator. Predator has just finished printing this afternoon. This is from just above his waist to the back of the head. The face has been printed. I can show you that in a minute. And this is the one that I'm having. So that I do the first one. I have that. So that I can test it, paint it, you know, so that if anyone ever has any questions, and I can, you know, I can see whether I've had any trouble or anything. I've got some experience of building that particular model. So it comes off like this, and to be honest, they're quite depending on the kit, it can be problematic getting these off. So it's got all these supports around it, and all these supports are there so that these ones are here so that the hair can be printed. This support is here so the gun can be printed. So you've really got to let's put down. You've really got to be quite careful how you take it off, but at the same time, you've got to be quite brutal at times as well, and it can be quite tough to get off. The model, when I first started, they were quite hollow. Now I've got more experience at it, and they're actually they come off. They're sort of got quite a bit of core to them now. They're a lot heavier than they were when I first built them. When I first printed them, sorry. There's a lot of prep work that goes into these before you start them. You cannot just buy one and paint it. They're a bit of a nightmare, honestly, when it comes to just getting these off. But on the plus side, this means, so bear with me a sec while I just get... this means that when they're packaged, they've got quite a bit of protection because they come to you with these supports on. Because honestly, it would take me too long to remove all these off each and every one. So this is where you've got to be careful, and sometimes you do end up breaking bits off that you shouldn't. I am looking into changing the settings so that they come off a little bit more easy. The thing with these is that once they just got to be careful of the hair. Wanted to try and get this off so you can see some of the model beneath. There's a massive amount of satisfaction when you've actually got one built up like Dobby there and you've got it painted. Right, I'm not seeing the chat on my monitor. Is the chat working? Got to be especially careful around this gun. The gun got damaged before. I'll show you. It really is bloody dreadful stuff to work with on when you first such a dreadful waste of plastic, especially with plastic being in the news so much. All right. Once you reach a certain point and it all starts to fall away. No, we don't want to take that off. Right, I know there's my computer's going bonkers, so's my phone, so somebody's messaging me. I will look in a second, but starting to see parts of the detail coming out now. That's the core there, that's the yeah, it's starting to come through. Once you get down to the detail stuff, it does start to pull away very easily. It's just this outer stuff that's a pain that you've got to get through. Yeah. Just checking I haven't pulled the end off the arm there, but I haven't. The supports are made in such a way that there's the plastic has got less connection to the pieces, to the piece when you get down near the base. So it should always break away from the model before the model itself breaks. There's one arm free. There we go. Now so you get just starts pulling. You're just pulling it away now. It's very it's just a case of going round. Yeah, remove that. Come back down to here because this is where there we go. Much better. There we go, starting to see. And we need to be a bit more careful where the hair is. Although, see, it's just broken away from the ends of the hair there. No problem. You may get one or two, but that one there is just broken off a little bit. But we can sort that out. What I would do is I'm just going to pull that off and put that in a little pot there. But the rest are okay. And if you do lose the ends, you can just shape the end there. No, that hasn't. I thought that one had snapped off, but it's just the plastic on the end hadn't been pulled off yet. You know, and then it's a case of going round and you're looking for little areas like this here. That's support there. So you need to take that off. But there we're looking at some detail on the breastplate. Here's his hair, his stomach with the skin detail. We come around, there's his armband. There's his gun. Now the gun's normally a weak point, and a perfect example of knowing what's support and what isn't is this gun. So we've got this, I've got this flap here, and I'm really not sure whether that's support or whether that is part of the gun. So I've got to pay particular attention when I come round and clean up these supports round here. I'm tending to think that that's probably a support, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I need to look into that. Then we got some more detail going on with the whatever it is here. And there's his skin, and there's where his face will go. I'll show you his face. Let me just clear this plastic away. I've also I've got Batman, but I've put Batman up for sale on Facebook. He needs more work doing to him than I can manage. I've got too many things, so I've put him up for sale on Facebook. I'll show you him in a minute, but he needs some filling and sanding, and honestly, I'm not a big Batman fan anyway. I think it was the second thing I printed. Actually, it might have been the first. Dobby might have been the second thing I printed. I can't remember. Right. So this is, I'll just show you Batman quickly. That's Batman. I primed him yesterday, and I'm just not happy with him. I think he needs, you know, going over with sander and some filler, and just generally needs a bit of TLC. So, and I haven't got the interest in him, I'm afraid. So there he is. Comes with his cloak, which again, you know, I've done a little bit to it, but I think somebody could do a lot better. And that sort of sits on there, right? That. So he's got his cloak. And then he has, I've done some scribing on that, but there's his head basically. And his head will sit in there. But there you go. That's the Batman model. Contact me if you're interested. Now then, Predator. So I'm still in the process of printing the first one off. Pop that to one side. I'll show you what I've got so far. Predator's going to be tall. I'll give you that. So there's the one of the guns that goes up on the shoulder. It was just printed in different plastic. No change really. It's the same makeup and everything like that. It's this is his. I think it's his left hand. I started putting some filler on that. Is it gonna? Yeah, started putting some filler on that, and I've got to remake the top of his console. There's the claws that come out. They were very problematic when I pulled them off because they've only got a very tiny bit of material holds them together. Now here's his face. You can either have his face open like this. Let me just turn that light off a minute so you can either have him open like that, or you can have him with his mask on. So there's two options there. Just put that back on. So his head basically will go on. I haven't removed all these little bits off the bottom of here, so I don't think it's going to fit in straight away. It needs some looking at that. But basically, so there's his. Oh man, that looks awesome! Actually, that is so cool. And then he sort of sits on his body there, so he's quite a size. This is half of his spear. The other half's yet to be printed. I don't know whether that's his one arm, and then obviously we've got his other arm over here. So that gives you an idea as to how tall. That's a 30 centimeter ruler, so he's going to be about 340 millimeters tall. Now there is a diorama that comes with him, but that I'm not printing that off. That would be, if anyone wanted that, that would be extra, because that's a lot more printing, a hell of a lot more printing. So there we go. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has come out. Now this is my version, so I run this quite fast. I've got four people that I'm printing these off for, 4 friends, and I'm doing theirs very slowly. I've turned down the printer, I've upped the resolution and everything, so it'd be interesting to see what the difference is between the two, because this one was run off quite fast. This took roughly about 18 hours. I managed to do this. The one that's printing now, exactly the same, is scheduled to finish 1 day, 13 hours and 1 minute, I think was the estimate. They normally go over though. Sorry. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Now, I'm going to put that in there for a second. I'm going to try and find out where the chat's gone. Catch up on that. It says restore chat. Ah, there it is. So let's go back to the beginning and catch up with that. Bob's first in. Says hello, ancient modeler. Good evening. Hello, Dobby. Yes, indeed. German 3D printing nerd. Hi, Dom. Yeah, Dobby's missing his hands. Had him cut off. Rob says hi to all. Support needs newer settings. Yeah. I want to. I was trying to find out the setting, Don, that makes them easier to come off. I thought I'd found it, and I reduced it to 15. Some of the density, I think it's something density support, but they don't seem to be getting any easier for some reason. So yeah, maybe you can point me in the right direction. Then we've got Rob saying that plastic monkey. Bob's again. Hi all. How's them hanging, Bob? I'm not even going to ask. Sounds like he's cracking lobster. Yeah. I don't know. I've never had lobster. I don't know why I said that. I have no idea. Nigel's modelling bench says, I think if I were doing this, I'd cut the support legs halfway up and then work outwards. I certainly wouldn't use Tamiya PE bending pliers to rip it all off. Yeah, you're right. I've got some needle nose pliers, but they're in the bottom of my tool bag, and I just needed something quick to remove them. They're not damaged in any way. They're not. There's no marks, scratches, or anything on them. But yeah, you're absolutely right. John Paul says, hi Nigel, I just subbed to you a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's worth noting that anyone in here, you can go and click on their little picture next to their writing, and you can follow the link through to their channel and subscribe with them. It's a great way to grow everyone's subscriptions. Don says he hates Batman. Susan says hello. Nigel says he's off to take a shower. Bye, everyone. Angela's in. Hello, Angela. I'm just skipping through now. What size is that harrier? Ah, well spotted. Somebody spotted the harrier. 1/18. It's 1/18. I will be showing it before the end of the show. Oh, it's DB's model zone. Bear with me a second. I just have to. Checking on something there. Yeah, I will be showing the harrier in a second, probably. That's strange. It's not. That is not working. There we go. Excellent. Right. That's that done. Let me just close that. So now what do you think? Hurry up and come home. Now what do you think? Hurry up and come home. I don't know what. Hi Sue, are they behaving for you? Ah, right, I see. She thinks we're picking on her. I'm using Curadon. He's asking about the software I use, and I'm using Cura. Yes, Gordon. Lol. Huh. So we have our first dislike of the evening gone up. So I challenge that person to come out and tell me why, so that we can improve the channel. It's always, these people, they put their opinion. They don't put their opinion forward. There's obviously a reason why somebody dislikes a channel. The odd thing is, it's the same 5 people every week. And if they dislike it that much, why do they keep coming back? Bizarre. But there we go. Okay. So, yeah, that was the Predator. We've seen the Dobby. I've shown you the Batman. Now, the other thing I had come through this week was, and somebody's already spotted it, this beast. Oh. Let me just bring the screen up. I need to. Yeah, this is big. It's a 1/18 Harrier by Hobby Boss. I will be doing a review on this this week. And let me tell you, you don't want to miss it, because this is a monster. The fuselage on this thing is massive. I don't want to give anything away until the review, but I will be reviewing it, and you'll get to see how big this thing is. My only disappointment, now I can't say anything because it will ruin the review. I'm looking forward to building this bad boy. Harry is one of my favourite jets. Ever since I saw it on Tomorrow's World, I remember it as if it was yesterday. Tomorrow's World. I don't know. Those of you, the younger viewers, won't know what Tomorrow's World is. But Tomorrow's World used to be a program where they would show you new and emerging technology and gadgets. It was awesome. If you like gadgets, you would have loved Tomorrow's World. And they came on, and a few of the highlights that I remember that stood out at the time. One was the CD player. They come on with this big black box and this silver disc. And I remember they put jam on it, they scratched it, they done all sorts to this disc. And then they put it in this black box and pressed the button, and it played music crystal clear. Now, today, we all know that you can't do that with a CD disc because it won't play very well. It skip and jump. So I don't know how they managed to do it back then. But nevertheless, CDs went on to pretty much vanquish vinyl, which was sad, although vinyl is making a comeback. And, it's just it was just one of those things that really stuck in my mind. And the other thing was, one night I came on and they announced that they'd got an aircraft that could take off from like a helicopter. I was only young at the time, and I was amazed. A jet aircraft that could just take off didn't seem possible. I now know that technology had been about before then. It wasn't really that new at the time. But again, at the time, I was only a child, so I didn't know any better. And we weren't a family that sort of knew a lot about jets and stuff like that. So I remember watching the Harrier as it became known. And then it sort of became VTOL, an acronym VTOL, Virtual Takeoff and Landing. And I love the Harrier, I really do. I've got to say, the downside to that kit for me is the fact that you cannot build a British Harrier. It has to be an American version. There's nothing out there to help you turn it into a British one. So I have limited skills in that department. But what I want to ask is, if anyone watching this or watches this at any point that is good with CAD and can design me a 1/18th scale nose for the Harrier in an STL file so that I can print one off here, that would be great, because that would mean I could maybe look at starting to convert one to a British type Harrier. There's a few other bits I need. I rely on Gordon for help in that department. Gordon from GB's Model Zone, he's worked on numerous real jets. He's flown all sorts, knows his stuff. Absolutely no one better for me to go to when it comes to things like this. And one of the first things he said that needed doing was the nose cone needs changing. It's not the same. So that's a question for anyone out there. If you can help me in that department, that would be great. Unfortunately, I can't pay you because I don't have any money for that. But you know, I will be eternally grateful, and obviously I will pay it forward at some point if I can. But yeah, so anyway, get in touch if you're out there. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss that. I've also got a review coming up of the emergency vehicle ICM brought out. I think it was last year they brought it out. I wanted to review it last year, but I never got it for whatever reason. I got it way back. I did get it at the back end of Christmas, I think. It was bought for me for Christmas. That was it. I've just never got round to reviewing it. So I will look at that. I've still got the Snowberry on the go. I've been working on that sporadically. And the other thing I finished this week, I forgot to mention this. Well, I say it's not quite finished. There's a couple of bits that I'm thinking of adding, and I've just not made up my mind yet what I'm going to do with it. But I finished this. My first proper tank build. I've never. Previously, all I've built was a tiny little Airfix tank, literally about this big, and also I bought a toy remote control one, which I thought was a proper tank, but it was just a click together kids kit. So this is my first real proper tank build. I absolutely loved it. Let me see if I can get yeah, that's what I need. Let's get the old revolving table out. My very first diorama as well. I've never done a diorama before. So let's start with the diorama actually. Literally, I just put some DAS air drying clay on, left that to dry. I can tell you I was very successful. I didn't get any cracks. It never came away from the wood. I'd done my research before I done this, and there's a few tricks you can use to help so that the clay doesn't crack, because I'm told this is a problem for many people. So basically, wet your wood first, the back of your picture frame. Make sure it's wet as you put this DAS air drying clay down. If you don't, it won't stick very well. As it dries, it will start to come away. The second thing, when you put it down, make sure you keep it all nice and even. Keep water on it, keep it nice and wet as it's going, and just generally start thumbing it out. Use your thumbs and gently tease it all out. Then I got an old, I think it was an aerosol can, a primer can from like the pound shop, and I used that just to roll it nice and flat, just to get rid of any fingerprints, anything like that. Then I put my tracks in. Now I made a mistake. I'd already put the tracks on the tank, so I couldn't press down very hard on this, because obviously I would break parts. So I put them in as best I could, but they have not come out great, I will admit. I can dry brush them a bit, I think. Maybe get some more out. It hasn't had a matte coat on yet. This is basically just sand that I wanted to glue onto the road surface to help give it this sandy swept look across the top. It's meant to be a road. I believe in Iraq the roads are red in places, so that's why it's got that reddish colour. I've got this sandy mottled effect going on again, trying to get the sense of wind blowing sand across. And then to make sure it doesn't crack, a damp towel over the top of it, put it to one side, somewhere cool, not somewhere warm, somewhere cool, and just leave it. Let it dry on its own. Once the cloth has dried, I just removed the cloth and left it where it was in that cool place till it dried itself. It took about another day, so about 2 to 3 days in total. Once I'd done that, I then used just PVA, and I PVA'd where the sand was going, and this is actually sand from Great Yarmouth, and I just poured that on, spread it everywhere, and then got rid of the excess. It's a bit messy, but it works. I like it. Once I'd done that, I went round with a pipette and some future floor polish, and I just dribbled floor polish all over the tops of the sand, and that stops it from coming away on your fingers. You know, it's not going to come off. I just added a couple of little bits of grass, which I got off my friend Bob. And yeah, that added a bit of detail. I'm going to put a bit of like bracken or something to, you know, there. So a very, very basic first. Well, it's a vignette, really. It's not. It's not a diorama, but more of a vignette. And then we come along and we add the tank. So now we can have a look at the tank. Incidentally, cover the sides with masking tape, otherwise you'll ruin the frame, and you don't want to do that. So super pleased with how this came out. Beautiful, beautiful kit. I just can't. I'm just really stoked with this. It came out so well. There's a couple of things I'd do differently next time. I'm not going to go into them on here because, you know, I've started. I don't really want to. There's a couple of cock-ups I made. I don't think I want to draw anyone's attention to them. You can't see them anyway. But these are, everything on here is movable. But some of them were a bit sloppy, such as the cupola commander's hatch here. It can come up and go down, but when it comes up, 9 times out of 10, it comes away. So I opted to keep it glued down. Again, you know, I've sort of, that can go up and down, but I've really glued it in position because it was a bit sloppy and it just weren't right. And this can turn again. I don't think I glued that one in. Oh no, but it's locked in from behind here. There's a little sort of pin mechanism. You get quite a bit of photo etch with it. I say quite a bit. You get an average amount, I guess. These baskets at the back, the railings are plastic, but the bases are photo etch. There's more photo etch in little areas here and there, little tiny bits, clasps, and so on. Yeah, lovely. It really is a nice. Really pleased with it. Really pleased how it came out. Yeah, I would definitely recommend buying this. Superb, yeah. So technically it's not finished, but I'm happy with it as it is. There's one more thing I was going to add. I haven't put any pictures up actually of it. I was building a shell to be fired out the front, and I was going to have some smoke coming out the front of the barrel. And this is the shell I'm making from scratch building, and it was sort of, you're going to see the tip of the shell through the smoke. Coming out there with the smoke in the fashion of cotton wool. That was the plan, but once I'd got it finished and you know, on the diorama or vignette, my mojo sort of evaporated. Then I just spent a long time staring at it and thinking, wow, yeah, I like that. Very pleased. Don't have anywhere to put it though, that's the problem. So at the moment it's just sat on some boxes waiting to get knocked off. Anyway, so yeah, that's that was something that I finished building this week. And so then it was a case of, what do I do next? What do I start building next? So I grabbed this down, and I think it's going to be this. I bought this, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. It's by Hasegawa. It's a Machinin Krieger kit, a Gruber Hound. Yeah, it looks really nice. Lots of little parts, and I think that this is going to be what I'm starting next. I did actually make a start on this a while back. You can see I got the I got one of the legs and lower leg and shoe boot or whatever on, and the same with that one. It has this sliding thing going on there. Now the other one had that as well. Oh, it still has, but it also had another bit at the side which has fallen off. So I've got to find that in the box somewhere. It will be. There we go. We've got a couple of bits there. That's one. Yeah, I think I'm going to build this. I was going to do a helicopter, but Bob's already doing a helicopter. And he's doing a damn good job of it. So many of you have probably seen it in various groups. So for now, I will build this. So I don't think I've got anything else to impart. Lots of things going on. We've now recorded 2 of the podcasts. The third one will be being recorded very soon. We've looked at the sound. Now, the first one that's coming out, I believe it's going to come out, and the sound is not 100% on it. We are working on that. We're working on it to get it as good as we can. Possibly looking at getting new microphones for those that don't have them, and working on that. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. But hopefully that will get released very soon, and then it will be fortnightly, I believe we agreed on. We're going to probably run an initial set of 12 off, and see how people react to them. And if that's successful, then we will go on and do many more. So, you know, one of the things that I'm struggling to find at the moment is somewhere to upload podcasts to that do podcasts. Yes, we can put it on the Facebook page, which incidentally, if you're not a member, it's SprueCast on Facebook. Go to the SprueCast page and become a member there. That's where it will be getting posted. But we're looking for, you know, like Apple or somewhere like that where we can just upload a podcast, preferably somewhere that we haven't got to pay anything, because obviously money's tight. So if anyone's got any ideas or suggestions, let me know, and I'll look into that. So let's get cracking with this. We've not got very long left. Probably got about half an hour. I don't know how far I've got. Right. So this is a bit like a Bandai kit. I'm looking at this. Yeah. So that went on there. They went on there. But, yeah, they've gone on the side. So what I need is a pen to cross off what I've done. So, inside, be careful. It looks like we've done that. We've done that and that. Right, so let's just make sure what. Oh, that's the base of the foot. I see. Yeah. So yeah, that's done. In fact, that's done. That's done. That moves. Do not cement. No. Open hole. Have they been opened? Yes, they have. Check that one as well. Yes. They've gone in. Ah, right. So we've got that on. And we've done all this. We have not done this N10 and N25. Right, let's make sure. So let me remove these out the way because they're in the way at the moment. First of all, let's find out whether there's any loose pieces in the bottom. And there is. There's one. Can't imagine I've just done one. There's two. Okay, right. Now then. Do not cement. You know, I don't think that's going to be an option. I think it's going to have to, because what we're saying is that just goes on there like that. There, that goes on there like that, but it's so loose. And that's just going to fall off. Yeah, so that is going to have a drop of cement on it. I see no way around it. Now it's got a lovely, lovely sort of metallic look to this plastic. The downside is it's got these awful seam lines. Now, because I've never done Gundam or anything like that. I've done the Star Wars ones, and those ones I've never filled in these lines. With them being do not cement. See if that's do not cement. Then them seam lines are going to be left there. There's no way of removing them. Right, let's just get a little drop. And a little drop on there. Teeny weeny bit of pressure. Pop that down there. And it does stand up on its own. Cool. And we're going to do the same with this side. And again, that's just going to fall straight out. There's absolutely no way of putting these on without gluing them. Not quite the level of Bandai yet, I guess, Hasegawa, but they're trying. So I've just put a tiny, tiny amount on both. There we go. There's the legs. So we're done on that. Done that, done that, done that. Left leg. Right leg. Now that was the foot. That was the leg, which we've done. Left leg, which we've done. Now the top, yeah, right. So we're up to step 5. So we're looking at N4. Now I've got to be careful what. No, that's not it. Right, so it looks like we're finally at the stage of taking bits off the sprue. So suddenly going through the sprues one at a time. I have got a sprue rack which comes in very handy. And there we go. Apologies if the dog starts barking. N4. There we go. Check that in a minute. So, yeah, we're going to need N5 as well. Makes sense. And on top of that, we're going to need W7. And it says instant glue for metal. So, am I looking for a metal part? W7. Q. I mean, why have they... So, on this one sprue here, we've got Sprue R, which is just one. Sprue S, which is just that bit there. Sprue Q, which is this. And that bit. I mean, why? Why not just have that whole sprue as Q or S or R? Why is there the need to confuse everyone? And like they've got A and then A1 and A2, and then it goes B, C, D. Well, you know, it's laughable. It really is. E. So look there, you got K, E, and G. Why? Why, Hasegawa? Why? And then PC3. As if it isn't complicated enough. E. W. Right. So that's interesting. W is, bearing in mind, it says instant glue for metal, right? W is not metal. It's some sort of flexible rubber. So I don't understand what they're going on about there. So this is Sprue W. W7. So that's that one there. I'm going to try and leave a bit of that nipple on the end because I'm not sure whether you've got to cut it off right close to the flush with the round bit or so. We've got 2 holes that need opening up apparently, which I'm going to say is those that, no, maybe not. They both, the drawing's not very good. So I'm guessing it goes together like that. Right. Okay. Let's just orientate ourselves before we start massacring bits of plastic and everything. Cut that off. Cut that off. Oh, got nice flush cuts there. Still going to need to sand it though. So I'm saying it goes like that. Excellent. Oh, I see. I think I see how this is going to go. So that goes, come on, put in there, you swine. I want to be able to get this. Oh yeah, I've got them clips on there as well. And then that's going to go in there and act as yeah, right. Oh, okay. So then it's saying if you have it like that, yeah, so now I've got it orientated right. It's saying the 2 holes are there, but the 2 holes have moved on the next picture. There is indentations there. I'm going to go with that there. I think that's tiny little drill bit on. So one. I do like the colour of their plastic. I don't know how they've done it, but it doesn't look like it's, like modelling plastic. You look at it and you go, yes, that's going to need priming, that's going to need painting. They have actually got it. It does look like it's already been painted. It's very good how they've got it. It does have a sort of metallic-ish look to it, like a. Of course, I will be priming this and painting this. I've just got to figure out how to mask these joints so that they still work. And all the joints are articulated. I mean, it's as close to really a Gundam kit as I'll get, I think. Well, no, that's strictly not true, because I do have a Gundam kit which I got for £5 off somebody on the Facebook's local selling pages, which was quite a good deal, I felt. I am going to do more than just plug that together. I intend to totally strip that down and make it into a really nice looking Gundam kit, I guess. It'll be the only one I do. I won't be doing many of them, he says. So we just need to remove those and that. And then basically that goes in there. Now it says instant glue. Instant glue for metal. I don't know why it says that for metal. It's not metal. Let's pop that. Not even sure the way it's got to be orientated. We've got two. We've got the bow. I mean, that looks as though it's going off to the side. So I think that has actually got to come off here. And that one. We need a dab of super glue, I think. Just a tiny dab, just to seal the deal. Let me just get a bit of super glue out. And we need a little lid or something just to there we go. I think have to be that. I've got nothing else. Put a bit in there. There we go. Got to be careful with this because it blocks up at the end, and somehow some sort of pressure builds up in it. The last time I managed to break the seal off the end, glue suddenly shut out, and I did actually end up gluing my hand to a piece that I was holding at the time. Got to be careful because I don't want to get it in the eye if it does do what it's done before. Let's see whether that's enough. No, still not enough. There we go. I think I see a little hole in there now. Right, okay. Back to the old way. I don't like doing this, but just got to drill a little hole in and then get the drill out quick and put it in some. There we go. There we go. See, ferrules are all right on that. Damn it! What is wrong with that? Yeah, it's running out the side. I can see it. Oh man, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There we go. There we go. It's just. I know it's just going to shoot out in a minute. I'm not risking it anymore. I could cut the nozzle further down. And then that will be. There must be a huge chunk of super glue down that nozzle. It is. Fuck it. I can't be bothered wasting time with that at the moment. I'll sort that out later when. I think I've got enough just to. Yeah, I've got enough just to get that in there. There we go. And that can go on. Oh, I've got to take them off there. I forgot to take them off. that one. And then on we go. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So coming up to 9:30. I only normally run it for an hour and a half. I think any more than that, people get fed up with me. I think that's bad. Imagine Angela, she's had 25 years of me. Yeah, open hole, which I've done. Done aside yet. Oh, hey, we had a little block. Did we have a little block to go in there? I didn't see them say to put a little block in. No. Ah, that's because it's there. What a dumbass. Come on. Just gently tease it apart. There we go. I don't want to snap at anything. Yeah, it says here, be careful. PC3-C. I mean, why? Hasegawa, why? PC3-C. Bloody hell. I'm going to guess that's them. Yeah, PC3-C. See, they don't even, there's not even numbers on this now. There we go, -C. This is a soft plastic. Much softer. And that goes in there. Upright. That doesn't say to. It doesn't say do not glue, but I don't see any reason to glue. Unless that's got to go. Oh, which way is that hole got to go? It's not giving any. Does that go like that? And then we've got. So I'm going to put it. I'm going to try and be sensible here and put it with the hole facing this opening here. I'm going to assume that something's going to slot into it from that direction. The instructions are saying have it pointing straight up. So that's how the instructions are saying to have the that little piece. So the hole points straight up. Let me just try and get that. But of course, if you have that pointing straight up, if something else going to slot into it, there's no bloody room because everything's in the way. So I'm going to make an executive decision. And I'm going to swivel it round so that it points out this side here. like so. So now the hole is, I've got to get new bulbs for this. If anyone knows where I can get the new light, the new bulbs for this triple tube lamp, if they could let me know, please. Cheapest place I can get them as well. I've just seen this is on full beam or whatever, and it just seems very, very dull. It's I think it's one of those Lightcraft Chesto ones, I think. I suppose I can find out myself, really. I can go and do some research and have a look. But if anyone does know, it would be helpful. Save me having to guess. And right, N15. And we already had N out, didn't we? Yes, we had N out, and now we're looking for N15, which is that bad boy there. I've got a feeling there's two of these N sprues. And that then, so we've got, maybe we're going to get more. But by the looks of it, you've got two here. Right. Bring that back up. And that's going to go in there like so. And I don't think we glue that. Doesn't really say, but again, I don't. That's not going to come apart. With the other side clamped on, there's no reason to glue that. That's not going to fall apart. There's no way that could wobble off. We close these down. Christ, they're tight. Oh, that's it, because that ain't coming apart again. Give that a sand in a minute, and there we go. We've got, I think I was right to do that way. And you've got this movable, no, that's not movable, but you've got this flexi joint here. So anyway, we're going to leave that there. Don't forget to miss the 1/18th scale Harrier build. Not the build, sorry, the review in the week. Thank you to everyone for watching. I'll just go and have a quick look at chat. So where do we get to? Wow, there's a lot of chat here. Right, so we got to around here. 3D printing for wow, nice. Don't know what it's on about there. That's a big one, Mark. Thanks, Sue. And then it said, Gordon said, hey, Mark's got a bigger one than Bob. And Bob says, git. So they're having a bit of fun there. The record is better. Oh, that must have been when I was on about CDs. Great looking kit. The original was called the Kestrel. GR79, don't forget the 118th Martin Baker bang seat. Yeah, that's another thing I need if I want to change it to UK. So again, if anyone's got the CAD 1/18th scale that I could print, that would be great. I knew, Bob, I knew you was going to say something when I mentioned about wetting the wood. I knew it. Iraqi roads are all sand and dirt. A smaller blown up Jeep on the side would be good. Bit sloppy, Bob. And then somebody called Robert Justin, you're a scammer. Well, he's not spelt that right. You're a scammer. I don't know. Or submarines next week. Yeah, that could be. Gary Pashley's there. Is it the Academy kit? No, it was the Meng. Bob's answered for me. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, it was the Meng 135th US main battle tank with Tusk. I have the AH-64 in this box. Gotta go take care of it. So, see you later. Don. Ancient Modeller's off. It's got an early start. Plastic Monkey, what's he building? It's the Gruber Hound. The bottom of the boxes. It's Maschinenkrieger Gruber Hund, 1/20th scale. So I think I saw Bob's hit it on the head with a German, some sort of German robot walking thingy. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much. CPC for lights. I don't know about that. Anyway, so that's it really. So thanks everyone for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. So bye for now. Oh, and don't forget, we've got the off-air hangout, which will carry on from this. Just come in on the link that goes up in a minute, and come and say hello. Okay, bye for now.